So the world of makeup. And just to clarify this isn't about like the kind of makeup you're thinking of where you would see on YouTube and the influencers you see all over social media. So don't worry for most of you thinking this is going to be a speech about just like makeup. So, makeup isn't just something you throw on for the day to make yourself look beautiful, but it also can be shown as like a type of art where people express it by putting on extreme amounts of makeup, details and finding shading and coloring, body detail, face and skin, and facial and body hair that's added to make them look completely different. So I feel like the reason I feel like this is something you guys should think about and consider is because there's a lot of time and effort going into these types of makeups that you actually see in recent films today. Probably almost every film that you see may use prosthetic makeups and makeup in general. So, with that being said, you'll be learning about the materials of what, prosthetics and that makeup is made of, what prosthetics and what the makeup and how it's applied and its resulting factors, and how it correlates with the film industry. So this is a basic structure of how it's made. So you're basically taking the mold and either a body part, often the face, to use as a base for sculpting and designing the prosthetics, as you can see in the top two pictures. They're being applied to the face using different kinds of glue. It's okay, it's good for the face. It's not gonna, peel off your face or cause rashes. It's totally safe unless you're allergic. But otherwise, that's how they make people look into totally different, either a creature and an ant or old or just anything in general. And how the two most common things they do put on the face to make, those structures and different structures of the face look totally different from what they actually are. They're using latex and silicone rubber. And now that you know how that is made and what it's made of and how it's applied, this is how it's also applied in the resulting factors once it's finished. So here's a few pictures of the steps and what is being seen here. It can make someone go from young to old, or make them into a completely different being, which I find, pretty interesting, to be honest. So this is how the prosthetics is applied and how it influences, like I said, making someone look young to old, or they could make them old to young if they really wanted to, and how they make people look into creatures if they wanted to. So this is kind of their transformation into a whole other person. So, and with these prosthetics, it's also used very wildly in the film industry. So here's some genres and just some movie examples of where prosthetics are being used. So they have How the Grinch Stole Christmas. There's prosthetics being used in that, and The Walking Dead, Harry Potter, and Wonder. So, and this is how they're applied. So, in the top right, there's the Grinch. Of course, they don't have the hair on yet, but that's facial structure of the prosthetics being put on the face, and it's coloring and shading. And then the top left, Wonder, probably that some of you, if that may have watched the movie, actually didn't know, probably didn't know there was actually prosthetics instead of his face actually being like that, which I thought really interesting. I didn't know that until I, did my research and everything, which I thought was pretty interesting. And then, of course, The Walking Dead and Harry Potter, which is an example of Voldemort. Any questions?
Yeah. I remember reading somewhere that this process takes hours. Is it more in the finishing stages, or is it getting the prosthetics set up?
It's more so the finishing stages, because the prosthetics, it does take some time, but the most time being put into it is the finishing touches, which involves the shading, the coloring, trying to get the contrast from lighting to dark, making sure it looks real.
So do they have to go through this every day? Can they save some of these things?
They can't save it once they take it off. It's harder to apply it, so they basically have to remake it, which what helps is that they use different molds, like they'll mold the people's face to get a structure of like what it was before, so they know how, so they make that mold and then they can apply it again onto their face if they needed to.
Okay. Lucas and Jeremiah.
No. No.
All right.
Do actors and actresses ever complain about it itching, driving them crazy?
It's actually, some people find it quite comfortable, but I guess after a long period of time, it can become a little hot and dense on them. Not so much itchy, but like, it just feels like it's weighing on them a bit, and it's just kind of, after a while, it gets a little like just hot and uncomfortable. But right away, they still think it's fun. They think it's like crazy, and they enjoy it.
Okay, thank you.
So, makeup has been used throughout the years and media through ads, recent films, YouTube, and other social platforms. So you see, makeup isn't just something you throw on to make yourself look, pretty for the day. It's also used to express as a type of art and a creation to make something unreal look real.